tempo running. Tempo running is this idea of gaining high-speed meters with good technical proficiency, but without exposing ourselves to crazy high stimulus. So we can work this around sport, reintroduce it earlier in rehab than sprinting, and we get these benefits of teaching and training at the same time. We can teach technical aspects, you can practice those, but also train our tissues, our hamstrings, calves at those higher speeds and gain some capacity adaptations, reactive adaptations to condition those tissues, the muscle and tendon, to work at those speeds. So it's more specific, really specific, compared to just strengthening or just jumping. With tempos, we'll often prescribe so around that 70 to 80% of top speed. The best way, so if you don't have access to any kind of speed measure, stuff off watch might not pick it up quickly enough, or you don't have GPS tracking, the best way of gauging it is kind of just an effort out of 10. So if you're going a 7 or 8 out of 10 of maximal effort, if 10 was a maximal sprint, you're going a 7 or 8 out of 10 pace. That means you should be able to speak a little bit, maybe not have a full-blown conversation, but you should be relaxed enough to talk. But you will also be, the main thing is you will have that attentional, reserve, because you're not focusing on full sprint. You'll have an ability, you should have the ability to focus on your technique. So we want to remember those dribble technical cues. It's bleeding that into higher speed running. So that high knee, dragging the heel up and then hitting the ground. We want to be focusing on that technical aspect whilst doing these runs and not thinking 10 out of 10 effort. But it's not a 5 or a 6 out of 10 where you're not actually going fast enough to get high speed, and you might not be going fast enough to really practice your running at a higher speed as well. So we're looking at dribble running. If I try and build up some speed here just a little bit, it might look something like that. I haven't really gained much speed, but it's not just a dribble where I'm just doing loads of reps. I'm starting to stride out and get that high knee position. My cues for that one, I felt like I wasn't really hitting down enough. So I might be thinking of those cues in my head. I want to hit down into the floor as much as I can. Yeah, we're looking at the high speed running with good technique, executed over a decent distance, about, depending on your training, age and how exposed to it you've been, varying between 60 and 100 meters. Anything less than that, you might not just build up enough meters for high speed. Anything more than that, you're probably going to start fatiguing and losing that nice high speed running. You're looking at between like 10 and 15 seconds worth of work, and you want to do these with longer rest periods so you have that time to rest and recover and get the good quality in, rather than a low rest period where it just turns into a thrashing and you can't hold the technique. So it might look something like a simple one is a 100-meter tempo, so maybe 100-meter track or length of a rugby pitch, 100-meter tempo at 70 to 80% speed, with going every minute on the minute for 6 to 10 reps. So with that, you might be looking at 15 to 20 second rep. Anything less than that would be pretty tough. 15 to 20 second rep, but then you've got double the amount, or over double the amount for rest. So you've got up to 40, 45, maybe even 50 seconds rest. Not 50 seconds, that'd be well fast if you're doing it in 10. If you were doing a 60-meter tempo, you might do that in 10 to 15 seconds and then have the rest of that minute to rest. Again, it's about loads of rest, keep the quality high, and you'll gain the high speed units. You'll still get good conditioning stimulus. It will get tough if you're getting that intensity right, but you don't want to go too much work